The two right-hand lanes were virtually a parking space. Lots of people were out of their cars looking because we were stopped.
A large stretch of I-70 in Wheat Ridge is back open tonight after a deadly crash had it closed for roughly 7 hours today. A semi-truck crashed on the eastbound side near Ward Road, spilling its load of plastic pipes onto the westbound lanes. 5 people were inside one of the cars, hit with debris. 3 of them were killed. The 2 others were hospitalized, along with the driver of the semi-truck. Investigators are now working to figure out what caused that crash. People who drive through that area on a regular basis say this was bound to happen.
9 News reporter Ria Jha is live near the site of the crash. And Ria, it happened in a fairly new work zone.
Yeah, we're standing right next to where the truck flipped over, and CDOT just implemented this work zone within the past 3 months. And I spoke with people who regularly drive down this highway. They said that even they have a hard time not crashing on a daily basis, and that's in a car.
Both of us drive on that highway through that construction project every day on our way to work.
A mindless commute.
Now I know I need to slow down, but a lot of people don't.
Changed in May when a work zone popped up on I-70 near Ward Road in Wheat Ridge.
I've just been waiting for it.
Yeah.
Every morning, if there's a truck near me, that's all I can think about is, let's hope we make it through without it tipping over.
The news of a semi-truck crash that killed 3 people was terrible, but not surprising for people like Don Carver and Harry Payne, or the hundreds of people who messaged the 9 Newsroom about this work zone. One guy comparing it to a racetrack in California known for its extremely sharp turns.
If it was a straightaway, it wouldn't be an issue. But because you have that first sharp turn and then all this construction diversion, it creates a mess.
And that creates, a situation where you kind of lose control of your steering. So.
I couldn't imagine driving a big truck through there.
CDOT said they implemented the work zone with a standard sign package, including a speed limit reduction.
There should be an illuminated sign that tells people they need to slow down, that there are sharp curves ahead. The typical signage, I don't think is appropriate or adequate for this particular project.
As long as the work zone is in place.
After what happened today, I'm surprised that truck didn't fall over on another vehicle.
Don and Harry are changing their route.
It's people's lives we're talking about.
CDOT said they're only aware of 1 previous accident in this area since they implemented the work zone, and they are concerned about speeding, but they're going to wait until the results of this investigation come out. Reporting live in Wheat Ridge, Ria Jha, 9 News.
If you like cooler weather, we hope you got outside today. It was likely one of our coolest for some time, and it wasn't even that cool, honestly. The 90s are set to return tomorrow, and the high temps could hang around well into next week.
Yeah, if you were in the sunshine late this afternoon, Corey, it didn't feel cool by any means. It was pretty warm.
Yeah, 87 degrees here in Denver, so that's pretty warm, but 1 degree below our average, so I guess you could call it cool. The thing is, we probably won't see another temperature that cool until September, because the back half of August is really going to be trending pretty warm. We're tracking some storms here tonight. We've got a few thunderstorms rolling through the Front Range, one up here to the north of Fort Collins and a couple running through the South Metro area, and that will likely continue for several hours. We may hear a few thunder boomers out there as we go through the night, and we could even have some severe storms out on the eastern plains. Here's your morning low temperatures here. Nothing too unusual in that case, but look at Friday. Lots of sunshine trending up here to 95 degrees, middle 90s across the Front Range tomorrow. So here's your impact headlines. We'll be tracking those nocturnal storms tonight and tomorrow morning. Heat wave coming, and we could be looking at record high temperatures by Saturday.
A patient died at the VA hospital in Aurora after the technician monitoring their vitals changed their alarm settings and placed a communication device on Do Not Disturb. That's according to a new report from the VA's Office of the Inspector General. The patient was in their 60s, had a history of lung cancer, admitted to the hospital in the spring of last year for shortness of breath and low oxygen. 2 days into their hospital stay, the report found the monitor alarm, which tracks heart rate, respiratory rate, blood pressure, and oxygen, sent out 4 alarms over a span of 6 minutes. The patient was found without a pulse nearly half an hour later and then pronounced dead. There's no documentation on anyone notifying nursing staff about the alarms during that time. Another worker reported the technician had a habit of disabling alarms, changing their parameters, and placing them on Do Not Disturb. The report found hospital leadership became aware of those workers not properly responding to alarms in September of 2022 and sent out a list of expectations 2 months later. But the report expressed concern about the lack of oversight. We reached out to the VA for comment and are still waiting to hear back.
There are some new questions tonight about the state's decision to euthanize a dozen puppies after one dog in that litter tested positive for rabies. The state notified dog owners about the first positive rabies test last week following an adoption event in Sheridan. Well, then this week, the state told 9 News a second puppy tested positive. Today, dog owners sent 9 News CDC test results showing the 11 additional puppies all came back negative for rabies. The state says the initial test done by CSU was positive and then was sent to the CDC for final results. The state says even if just one test is positive, the dog is considered positive regardless of more testing.
Starting today, dogs must be on a leash in certain areas in Boulder. Boulder Open Space says this is the time bears start foraging for food before hibernation. So to avoid disturbing them, dogs must be on a leash in several areas through November 1st. That includes Skunk Canyon up to the Mesa Trail, portions of Gregory Canyon, Saddle Rock, and Amphitheater Trails, as well as the upper part of the Dowdy Draw Trail. A new program within the Boulder Police Department is designed to improve the way officers interact with people on the autism spectrum.
9 News reporter Rachel Krause is here. Rachel, how does this thing work?
Yeah, so the police department has decals that people can put on their cars or on their homes, and that can alert officers pulling them over or investigating a call that they or a loved one has autism, so they can adjust the response for everyone's safety.
Like any mom, Kristen Pincus worries about her son Jackson.
So my son, he's 9 years old. He's very much into technology. He was nonverbal until he was about 4.
So Pincus was pleasantly surprised when Boulder Police created a new program offering decals for cars and homes to alert officers that they or a loved one has autism, like her son.
This was kind of a no-brainer, and I kind of questioned why we hadn't done something sooner.
Stephen Redfern, Boulder PD's interim chief, says he got the idea from another agency in Illinois and quickly got to work putting together a program that would work here. Work he knows is important.
But just have better engagement, but also really at a serious level avoid a tragedy.
1 in 5 people with autism will interact with a cop before they turn 21, according to the Autism Society. Those interactions can result in restraint, use of force, even death.
There are behaviors, even my son has some of these behaviors, such as running away from safe situations, or aggressive behavior could be seen as yelling things, or not understanding commands that were given to them, things like that. And all of that can lead to misinterpretation of their needs.
Chief Redfern hopes these decals can help officers make sure that doesn't happen.
But it allows them to say, oh, maybe someone here may interact with me differently, and then gives them better tools to go into a situation to hopefully be able to de-escalate it, and so we don't see bad things that have happened around the country.
And people are taking note.
And we've had almost every day somebody coming in to get a sticker in a program.
Both hopeful that by spreading awareness, they can make police interactions safer.
If we can avoid one situation with this where a community member or an officer is not hurt, then that's a win.
And as parents, we want to make sure that our kiddos are safe out in the world, especially when they get a driver's license and are exposed to different situations alone. And so knowing that there are people out there in our community working alongside of us to mediate that is great.
Chief Redfern says so far the response has been really very supportive around the community, and it's not just here. Redfern says he's spoken with chiefs and sheriffs around Boulder County and even some from other states that are interested in bringing this program to their own agencies. They've even heard from folks who walk and take the bus looking for an option like a patch or a lanyard that can help make it easier for law enforcement to make them aware no matter how they get around. Rachel Krause, 9 News.